everyone.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we are going to learn all about what's new in formulas for admins as well as for developers. So if you're a developer and you're thinking formulas, oh my God, I don't need this, you need to stay here, believe me. Well, to begin with, I'm Pusha. I'm Salesforce Consulting Manager at Horizontal Digital. I'm also a Trailblazer Community Group Leader. And joining me today is
Barbara Laskowska, Salesforce Solution Consultant working in Akiva Labs. Well, my journey to come here was a long one. I started as a Salesforce business analyst in the Big Four, then product owner, and now solution engineer in the as a sales engineering. And yeah, I'm doing demos on a daily basis and trying new things in Salesforce.
That's really amazing, Barbara. Thank you so much. Well, before we begin, the survey feedback, I know is the day two. This might have, just be over, but if you really like the presentation, you can send us your surveys. This will help us improve our presentations for the next time. All right, once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, that's just a verification slide. We look the same like on the slides, like on live, yeah.
Yeah, and you might see two consultants doing a developer session. Well, we're aspiring developers, so we are getting there.
We are in a good way. And about agenda, so we're going to have two blocks. So the first one, we're going to cover the Einstein 4 formulas. So we're going to explore the new things that you can do with the Einstein in formulas, and we also cover what is ahead of us. And in the second part, we're going to cover Apex dynamic formulas and the power of that, and how you can use it, and how actually easy it is.
Perfect. With that, let's get started. All right, so show of hands, how many of you have had sleepless nights trying to figure out that syntax error in your formulas, and scavenging Google, posting on Trailblazer communities, and literally everywhere? I can see one. Oh, yes, I can see a few hands. See, a lot of us have faced this problem. Well, wouldn't you like to solve it? Sorry. How easy? Sorry, I don't know what's going on with this clicker. Really sorry. Okay, so wouldn't you want to solve this problem just with few clicks? Wouldn't that be amazing? Barbara, do you think we can do that?
Well, Salesforce Einstein is everywhere, so maybe Einstein can help with that?
Oh my God, I think you're absolutely right. With Einstein for formulas, now you can actually solve all those issues. To get started, actually, in spring 24, Einstein actually launched a really cool feature. So for example, you're an admin, you joined a new company, but you don't know what a formula does. It just helps you understand what it does, and just with a click of a button. So you don't need to actually go to Google or ChatGPT or whatever. It's right there in your org. Let's see it in action. Cool. So imagine you're Lei, and you've recently joined Coral Clouds. We're actually talking a lot about Coral Clouds. And Lei found on the opportunity object a formula field. And in the earlier days, she'll probably wonder how I can get explanation for what this does, because there's no documentation whatsoever. A lot of us face this problem, right? So now what you have to do is click on Edit, click on Use Formula Assistant, and voila, Einstein will actually do the magic for you. You will get to see all the explanations right there in your org without going to ChatGPT, without going anywhere. You can get detailed explanation and everything. Now, this is about the formula explanation. What about the syntax errors we talked earlier? Well, Einstein can solve that for you as well. So with Summer 24, now you can actually fix the formula syntax errors within your org as well. It's as simple as clicking a few buttons. And not just for syntax errors, but also if you have selected incorrect return types and so on and so forth. So let's see a couple of demos to understand how it works. Again, Leah is actually creating a formula on the account object to actually calculate a account priority. And she actually has written a formula after deliberating too much, and that formula is showing an error. Let's look at it in action. So she has pasted the formula. Now she wants to understand like what the problem is. So it's as easy as fixing the problem, like click on Fix Formula, and Einstein will fix it for you. You can see on your screens it's calculating, and it's the correct formula. She'll just click on Update Formula, and it's updated, and that's it. Nothing else is required now. So everything is done for you at the click of a button. You don't need to, use ChatGPT, Google, or anything. Well, we talked about the return types as well. Imagine my formula is correct, but the return type is incorrect. What am I supposed to do now? Well, once again, Leah is creating another formula, and she actually is doing it this time on the opportunity object. Sorry, contact object, and she's creating a new formula field where she's selecting the data type as, let's see what she comes up with. Come on, Leah, do it quickly. Okay, so it's lead scoring, and she's selecting a return type as text. Well then, let's see what the formula is. Here we go. Let's use the Einstein formula assistant. Oh no, there's a return type error. She has selected number in the formula as a type, and then she has selected text as a return type. Well, now I can go back, click on number, and it's solved. But initially, if I would have selected a wrong return type, it'll just make my life miserable, because even though the formula is correct, I'll not get the proper results. But now, you don't need to worry about that. So Leah actually has explored so much interesting features with Einstein for formulas. What's next?
Where else do we use formulas? In flow builders. This is something ahead of us, right? So to use Einstein to build formulas in a flow builder, it's super easy. You just go to the new resource, new element, you just hit the Einstein button, and with the human language, you're just asking Einstein, actually saying to Einstein, what kind of a formula expression you would like to generate, and he's doing it for you.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I really like this feature.
Well, now, creme de la creme, so the Apex dynamic formulas. This is the idea that is completely community-driven. The idea was published on the Idea Exchange 2017. And
well, you might want to know what Idea Exchange is. So as a developer or as an admin, we come across like certain things where we feel like this should have been a part of our Salesforce org as a new feature, maybe in the new release, but you don't know like how to actually get there. Well, Idea Exchange is the platform where you can post your ideas, and product managers from Salesforce actually pick ideas like this one. So you can see on your screen, Kevin Gall was the person who actually submitted this idea, and now a dynamic eval function is available on your Salesforce org. And today we'll learn all about it.
Yeah, the idea was really simple, right? Evaluate dynamically formula from a string in a context. And this is exactly what is available now. Here you have some of the information. Now it's easy to evaluate user-defined formula for AS objects and a context. So, Pusha, could you tell us a little bit more about the power of dynamic formulas?
Absolutely, I would love to. Well, dynamic formulas are really amazing. It's a really amazing tool to enhance collaboration between admins and developers. And admins might be wondering like how it could be useful for us. Well then, you'll see like amazing demos we have prepared for you. But for the context, like once the developer has written the code, admins get the opportunity to edit it from their Salesforce org itself. So you don't necessarily have to rewrite the code over and over again. You can just work with the developers directly. And the next feature, it is also actually, it simplifies your life and it eases the maintenance process. So for example, for some business changes, now you want to update a few details here and there in the formulas. You don't have to go to the Apex code and update things there. You can just do it from your org. And then really cool feature which I like is that it actually offers you real-time results. So you don't need to wait for something to actually reload and fix things for you. You can see everything on your screen in real time. And lastly, it actually helps you optimize the performance, because if your org is large, you might have faced, like, in some objects you have more than 15 formulas and you're not able to add more than that. Now this is something which you need in your org, because once you add dynamic eval function, you can actually create formulas within that in your org with the ability to edit everything there. You don't need to actually you can actually create object bloat with this and minimize the DML operations altogether. So this is really amazing. I'm sure all these amazing features will push you towards using dynamic formulas moving forward. Now over to Barbara to explain what it does.
Yeah, so let's look at something that all tigers like the most, so how to actually use that, right? It's very simple. So we're going to make use of the formula instance class inside the formula eval namespace. Then we are using the existing formula class and using the builder method to retrieve the formula instance. And the secret sauce is happening actually in the back end, and the only thing we have to do is to provide the parameters. And they're very simple ones. So the return type of our formula expression, so like a string or Boolean type, so our object type, for example, account, and the formula expression. And in that case, we can use the text, or we can refer to any Salesforce custom field. So how we can actually use that? So let's look at the two use cases. So the first one is evaluating formula from a string argument. We have a MediaSphere, the company that is selling video and music streaming platform licenses. And here we have an account, Alexander. Alexander is based in APAC. His annual recurring revenue bringing to company is like a little bit more than $200, and his loyalty tier is bronze, and based on that, applicable discount is 5%. Alexander just called MediaSphere and asked to add another license. This is what we're going to do. So now we're just going to the music streaming platforms, and we're going to use the music streaming platform license as a product. So let's do that. Let's choose like Echo Tunes, for example. Yeah, one quantity. Yeah, and now jumping to Alexander back, we see that annual recurring revenue, of course, increased, but also loyalty tier changed, and applicable discount increased as well. But how all of that happened? So first of all, we're going to go to the territory, custom Salesforce object I created, and we're going to see how actually the formulas, loyalty tiers for the accounts are defined. So as we can see here, for APAC, about $300 of the annual recurring revenue, the accounts are defined as silver, all the loyalty tiers. And how does it work in the backend? Let's look at the code. So first of all, we need to collect the territories IDs and query the territories with the formula instances. Because as you can see now, I'm going to jump again to the territory object. For each of the territory record, we have a loyalty tier formula defined. So that's why we have to retrieve that record as well. And later on, we're just using what I just described before, right? So we are referring to the formula instance class inside the formula eval namespace. We are using already existing and known for all of us the formula class. And we are defining for our use case the formula type. In our case, it's a string. The type, an account class, and the formula, in our case, is just a custom field on Salesforce that is storing our formula expression. Probably some of you can say, well, we can do the same with just a formula field, but let me show you something that this is bringing to action. Let's look at the another use case, evaluating formula for S objects. Currently in Apex, we can re-evaluate the existing formula fields, right? Re-evaluate the form. And here, what we can do, you can see a very simple LWC component. So we have a field to define the return of the formula, the return type of the formula expression. In our case, it's a %. And we have two formulas. First one is the margin. So we're going to retrieve the margin value. And the second one is a discount calculated based on the margin value. On the second column, we have respectively, results of the two formulas and the record that we want to evaluate the formula on. And on the third column, we have as well the same place to paste our record ID and displaying the result formulas. So why it's so powerful? All of that will happen in the real time. You can, in UI actually, change the formulas. You can play with that. You don't have to store the results of that. And based on that, you can use the LWCs for real calculations, and I think especially in some of the use cases for financial services or anywhere else when you would like your users to actually evaluate the formulas on the UI. So it's super simple. I just click calculate results, and I'm just getting the results for all of that records. And OK, as I mentioned before, these formulas are evaluated on two different objects. Like these two records are coming from two different objects. One is coming from the opportunity, and the other is coming from the order. Currently, if you just want to evaluate the same formula on two different records, you have to have that formulas on two different objects. Here, you can just evaluate any formula for any objects you want. And yeah, that's it. What do we have for today?
Hold on. So we have two really cool pins. If you really like the dynamic eval function, and two people who'll share what they really liked about the eval function will get those pins. So if you want to come up to us after this, you're welcome. And once again, here are the resources with all the codes and everything we just shared. So you'll get the opportunity to go through this, just scan the QR.
Yeah, you can find here the code repository. All of that was used in the demos, LWC component as well, so we can just take it and play with it by yourself. And yeah, thank you.
Remember to
leave us, opinion. Thanks.
Thank you for joining.